You know, when you read the book of Revelation, you come across this really fearsome, kind of mysterious figure, a king who commands an army straight from the abyss, a being whose name literally means destruction. But who is this king really? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into an answer that might just blow your mind.
All right, so this is the verse we're really going to dig into. It introduces a king, the angel of the bottomless pit, and it gives him two names, Abaddon in Hebrew and Apollyon in Greek. And trust me, both of those names carry some seriously ominous weight.
So, for centuries, the traditional take on this guy has been pretty straightforward. He's a high-ranking demon, maybe even Satan himself. I mean, it makes sense on the surface, right? But the source material we're looking at today offers a radically different and, yeah, pretty controversial idea about who this king really is. Okay, so that leads us right to the big question, doesn't it? Who exactly is this powerful angel king, this ruler who has dominion over the abyss itself? The traditional answer is a demon. But what if it's someone else entirely?
And here it is, the core thesis from our source. This interpretation argues that this king, this angel of the bottomless pit, this figure named Destroyer, is none other than Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know, that probably sounds completely backwards, maybe even shocking, but stick with me. Let's unpack the evidence that's presented to support this claim.
Okay, to even begin to understand this argument, we've got to break down the actual words used in that verse, because the titles here aren't just random labels. They are loaded descriptions of this king's function and his authority.
So first up, the word angel. In Greek, it's angelos, and you know what it really means? Just messenger, or one who is sent. It doesn't automatically mean a celestial being with a halo and wings. The argument here is that Jesus is the ultimate messenger sent from God, delivering a message of both salvation and righteous judgment.
Then we have the bottomless pit, the abyssos. According to this interpretation, it's not some literal fiery hole in the ground. It's a powerful symbol for the realm of death and judgment. So being the king of the abyss doesn't mean you're evil. It means you have complete and total authority over it.
And what about those names? Abaddon in Hebrew, Apollyon in Greek. Here's the kicker. They mean the exact same thing. Destruction, or more like it, the destroyer. And the fact that the Bible states this title in two different languages, that's not an accident. It's for emphasis. It's screaming, pay attention to this title.
Okay, so let's recap. We have a messenger from God who has authority over death and judgment, and his name is literally the Destroyer. But does the rest of the Bible ever actually describe Jesus this way? Well, the argument builds by connecting this title to some other really key passages.
Well, take a look at this from the book of Hebrews. It couldn't be more direct. It explicitly uses the word destroy to describe Christ's ultimate mission. What was that mission? To destroy the one who had the power of death, the devil. The language is a direct parallel to the title Destroyer.
And remember the whole bottomless pit thing? Well, check out this verse from Ephesians. It talks about Christ descending into the lower parts of the earth. This is interpreted as his triumphant journey into the realm of the dead, the abyss itself, where he didn't just visit, he conquered it from the inside out.
In this one, wow, this really brings it all home. Right back in the book of Revelation, Jesus himself declares, "I have the keys of hell and of death." See, in this view, he's not a prisoner of the abyss. He's the warden. He holds the keys. He has the ultimate authority.
I get it, though. The title Destroyer still feels wrong, doesn't it? It just doesn't vibe with the picture of a loving savior that we usually have. But our source material argues this is because we tend to overlook another huge aspect of God's character that's presented all through the Bible, his role as a righteous judge.
The idea here is that we can't separate God's love from his justice. They're two sides of the same holy coin, and the Bible, from front to back, consistently shows God as being in complete control of both creation and destruction, of mercy and righteous judgment.
And believe me, this idea is not new. It's all over the Old Testament. Remember the Passover story? God sends a destroyer. In Deuteronomy, he flat out says, "I kill and I make alive." In Isaiah, he claims sovereignty over peace and what's translated as evil or calamity. The idea of God as the ultimate agent of destruction against evil is just woven right into the text.
And it's not like this whole idea just vanishes when we get to the New Testament. Not at all. The Apostle Paul refers back to that Old Testament destroyer as an agent of God's justice. And Revelation itself promises that God will ultimately destroy them which destroy the earth. It's a theme that runs through the whole Bible.
So when you put it all together,
the meaning of the words, the other Bible verses, you start to get this completely different picture of who this angel king is, and it kind of forces us to rethink some of our common ideas, especially the ones shaped by movies and pop culture.
It's really a clash between two images, isn't it? On one hand, you've got the Hollywood Jesus, often shown as weak, always getting beaten up, locked in this eternal struggle with evil. And then you have this sovereign king image. In this view, Christ isn't fighting a battle, he's the absolute victor over an enemy who is already defeated. He is the conqueror.
And honestly, this famous passage from 1 Corinthians just nails it. It's the perfect summary of this whole triumphant idea. It's not a wish or a prayer for a future victory, it's a victory cry. It's taunting death saying, "You've lost." Its power has been destroyed by this very king, the ultimate destroyer of evil.
So that's where we'll leave it, with a final, pretty challenging thought. Whether you agree with this interpretation or not, it pushes us to ask a really deep question. Does thinking about Christ as the destroyer, not of people, but of death, sin, and evil itself, completely change how you think about his power? It's a complex idea for sure, and it recasts one of Revelation's most terrifying figures in a completely new light.